Just going to do the German war graves that are in Lincoln. Well, Scampton Commonwealth war graves. There are 8 graves, 9 bodies. I will tell you why that is in a second. Here we are. Now it's from basically 2 different incidents that the graves are here. The first is from the 12th of May 1941, and a German Junkers 88 had bombed RAF Hemswell, which was about 6 miles away, and it was coming back in RAF Scampton, which is here behind me, by radar, found the plane, shot it down. Now the plane landed in the Miller's farm. And the Millers heard the plane crash and came rushing out, and one of the pilots, a Kurt Hanning, who is here I believe, he died in Mrs. Miller's arms, which wasn't so unusual in wartime in Lincolnshire, in wartime in general. But about 5 days later, Mr. Miller was working on a farm nearby where the plane crashed, and came across some what he thought were rags, which turned out to be a body. Now, they had found all the bodies from this flight, and so they were extremely confused. Why was there 5 people in a plane for 4? Now, local folklore and how the story is still told to this day is that one of the pilots brought their girlfriend along for just a bit of fun. Now, that story persists to this day, but in the 1960s, nearby the field, they found some ID tags. And they read, "E hates Rydell." And E.H. Rydell went AWOL from the German army the day after the 12th of May 1941. And so, it is believed that it was he who was in the plane. But the story persists that it was a German pilot bringing along his girlfriend. But not right. And that is why there are 2 graves, 2 names on this one grave here. Now, the second incident, I'll show you the other graves, as I'm not mentioning these people by name. Now we're going to focus on this one. This guy was the pilot, and this was on, as it reads, the 4th of March 1945, which is very late into the war, granted. But this was called an infamous night. This was the night of the intruders, and over 200 Luftwaffes were in the area of the east coast of England, and they were shooting down planes that were coming back from missions over Europe. And they were trying to swing the momentum of the war, and this was their mission. Now, the crew had just shot down a plane at Langworth in Lincolnshire, and they moved on to look for ground targets. Now, they saw some lights, hooded lights, and they went to well, take them out. And they swooped down and they didn't see that there was telegraph poles there. Their fighter, their Junkers 88, again, 2 lots of Junkers 88, swooped down, hit the telegraph poles, landed on top of the car, and killed the entire crew on board, and also the young man that was driving the car. Morning. Now, that's the end of the story. But the story bothered me a little bit. I felt really sorry for this guy in the car, just going about his day and being taken out. So I've done a bit of research about him, and I'm going to take you up to his grave, because it's in Lincoln as well. One last point on these graves. I don't believe there's any other German war graves in Lincolnshire. I could be wrong, but when they were gathering up all the German war graves to put them in Cannock Chase, which is the big German war graves plot in England, I believe it's in Warwickshire, and who knows, maybe one day I will go there for you lot. But the families of the graves of the German war dead refused to let them be placed in Cannock Chase, because they could see the dignity and respect that this graveyard treated them was exactly the same as they were doing for the British soldiers, and so they refused permission. So they remain in Scampton and have done ever since the war. And I will now take you to the next location. A little behind the scenes information here. I am truly the worst person at finding graves in the world. I can't begin to tell you the amount of time for this channel I've spent in graveyards trying to find graves. I'm appalling at it. So yeah, just a little side note. They are very peaceful though, aren't they? I actually thought I'd be okay in this grave because I used this graveyard for another video, and I found the grave straight away. I was so proud of myself. But alas, 40 minutes later I'm still walking around this one. Be with you soon. Oh my god, I've found it. I'm so proud of myself. Look at the cathedral. I had one picture to match it up with, and I could see that red grave there. Right, this isn't about this. Let me focus, I'm sorry. Right. So as the story ended at Scampton War Graves, the Junkers 88 swooped down, they saw a target, and they crashed into the telegraph poles, and some chap was just on his way to work. And it was Jack Kelway, who worked for, as it says, the Royal Observer Corps at Hackthorne Post. Now, in the future, I will be doing a whole video on ROC posts. There are hundreds, literally, in Lincolnshire, and thousands, literally, in England. So, Jack Perotti Kelway, killed on duty 4th of March 1945, left a wife Irene and 3 children, Tony, Patrick and Christine. I believe they all emigrated to Australia after this incident. And 8 o'clock challenge from the cathedral. Now, Jack never had a headstone, and he was killed on duty. And Bill Warwick, who was another ROC worker, Royal Observer Corps worker, and he fundraised about 5 years ago and got over £1,000, and they put that headstone in their place, which was very nice. Well done, Bill Warwick. I just wanted to round off the story. I thought it was really a bad way just to end it, that just some guy got killed. War, everybody. Nearly everybody dies, but just some, can you imagine, just, I don't know. I just felt a bit uneasy leaving it. Some guy lost his life, and I was just ending the story with somebody crashed their plane into a lamppost and landed on the car, and the guy died. I thought it was a bit, I don't know, just a weak ending to the story. I was going to go to Hawkthorne ROC post where he was working that night. It's still there. It's closed. Obviously, they're all closed. All closed. Well, the vast majority in about 91. I will do another video solely dedicated to ROC posts because they fascinate me and they're very interesting. But that will be after lockdown, which is getting closer every time. I thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you have. I might be posting an old video from my old travelling days later in this week. So 2 videos this week maybe. So watch out for that. Yeah, I'll talk about that in the next video. Thanks again. Have a great day. Man, I need a cup of tea.